What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the best podcast. I'm your host, Eric Russler. This week, I've got a very special guest. I'm sitting down with Phil Cornell. He is a comedian, author, actor, director, producer, podcaster. He pretty much does it all, and a comedian, and he's just a really cool dude. We sat down for like 2 hours, and we had a great conversation. I think you'll really like it. Enjoy the episode. Intro, I do it later, and then because it's weird. Like, it's weird to be like, because we've been hanging out for what 10 minutes, and then for me to all of a sudden be like, "What's up, everybody?" Hey, like that. So I do it afterwards, and it's the part I hate the most. I can't stand it because I don't like, because you just have to look like dead into the camera and. What's up, everybody? Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And you realize, like, I'm just talking to myself. Like,
I mean, what do people do on the internet anyway?
Yeah, when it goes out, people see it. But, like, in the moment, and then I have to sit there and edit it and watch, like, why is my eye doing that? Why is my... It's like, am I having a stroke? Like,
but you know, that's how DJ Khaled, that's how he explained how he blew up on Snapchat.
Oh, really?
Like, he said that he would, like, look himself in the mirror and say things to himself to get himself motivated, and then he started talking to his phone, and posting on Snapchat, and he didn't realize how big it had gotten, so he had like lost his phone while he was on his jet ski, and he told him I'm going to the Apple store to get a new phone, and he couldn't get into the Apple store because everybody was there waiting on him.
Is that how he came about? Is that where DJ Khaled came from?
No, that's how he kind of like. So he already had like gold and platinum albums. Like, so we're not going to pretend like he wasn't that guy.
Yeah, okay.
But he wasn't like, there's different levels to it. Like, there's like somebody that's like, okay, he does music, he's been successful. And then there's like a Drake or, you know what I'm saying?
See, because as a white kid growing up in Cape Girardeau, I didn't know how rappers came about. Like, they just would show up and be like, oh, we got a new song from DJ Khaled. And you'd be like, who? And then you'd listen to it and you'd be like, well, that's pretty good, I guess. All right, I guess he's the new guy or whatever. And then he just gets like, he's kind of wild. Like, he's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? And so it's like there are sometimes where I'm watching, I'm like, how did he make it? Where did he come from? Like, I didn't know the backstory of any of it. I'm just like, all right. I mean, another one. Like, all right.
If you look up the story of a lot of these people, it's interesting. Like, I don't know his exactly, but from what I understand with the Drink Champs interview, he was actually a DJ in Miami area. And then, like, he did that for years, like 10, 15 years. And he used to do reggae. And he talks about, he used to do reggae, and then he kind of like, became a big DJ guy down there, and then he started producing his own music. That's why it's like music produced by DJ Khaled or whatever, and not necessarily making the beats, but bringing the rappers and the beats together and, making the song.
Yeah.
And then, he just kind of, networked with certain people like, Rick Ross and... or whatever. Well, Rick Ross actually networked with him, mainly Fat Joe, because he was, when I first saw him, he was from Terror Squad. I don't know if you remember that. Like, remember that song?
I remember, yeah.
The song Lean Back?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
DJ Khaled was there. He was in that, like, he was part of that. That's when I first saw him. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, I just thought he was just like Fat Joe's, like, homeboy. Man,
can you imagine if you worked at a restaurant and Fat Joe and DJ Khaled showed up? You know what I mean?
No.
If you're a server, you're like, oh,
dog,
yes.
It was worse. It's pictures of Fat Joe and Big Pun. Big Pun was bigger than Fat Joe. So really? You saying DJ Khaled, and like that's like a level 3 right there. Like Big Pun and Fat Joe at that time would have been like a category 5. And you'd be like, man, remember that episode? Remember the clumps where he walked into the?
I was just thinking about Nutty Professor with the part where he's like, 7 feet or 7 stories high or whatever. He's tall, and then he farts, and everybody's like holding on to the street lamps, getting blown away.
That is
no, that's weird. I never knew where DJ Khaled came from. White people don't look into backstories. Like, we just listen to the new song, the new hit, and we're just like, all right, cool. What? We're down with this. It's like, I like this person. Yeah. At least, maybe I can't speak for all white people, but that's how I don't.
So a big thing is, like, it hasn't been, it's been a couple years, but it's like the biopic stories of these bands, and, and now they're finally doing rappers, which, I'm more into or whatever, but, you know what I'm saying? Like, they did the Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah. They did that movie. There was a movie on Netflix about, what was the band that, Tommy Lee was in. Oh
yeah, that one. I don't know. I'm also not a huge music person.
Okay.
So maybe it's okay. The more I think about it, maybe I'm like, that might just be me. But I don't get into the backseat. Like, did you know that the Beatles are from England?
Quit playing.
Yeah, no.
Quit playing.
I knew that. But
quit playing with me, man. Like, if you would be like, did you know Elvis stole black people music? Yeah. I'll be like, okay, now.
You know Elvis is dead?
Yeah.
I swear, I just saw this movie. It's crazy. Did you watch the Elvis movie?
Yeah, I did, man. I made a mistake. I watched it with my mom, and so here's the thing about my mom. My mom's 72. So she comes from, like, a era where it's like she doesn't really like stuff that's, like, overly racist. It doesn't bother her because she's so used to it. So it's kind of like when you try to bring stuff up to her, she's like, I don't understand why you're so upset. That's how stuff always been. And I'm give you a prime example. Like, so I remember when there was a Harriet Tubman movie came out. Harriet Tubman.
I think I remember a couple years ago. Yeah.
And I was like, they was on Twitter killing the movie. Talking about, like, for one, they had Harriet Tubman out here, like, some martial arts expert type deal. And then everyone knows, like, she wasn't the most pleasing on the eyes. Like, she was not attractive. So this girl already, she not ugly, and she know how to do karate, basically. And then the movie is basically based off of she's trying to, get the slaves on the Underground Railroad, and they have, like, a slave catcher trying to catch her, and it happens to be a black man. So they was like, so we made a black man the villain of an underground slave movie.
Of the Harriet Tubman?
Yeah. So Twitter's going crazy. Twitter's where woke or where X or whatever you call it now.
Yeah.
Back then it was Twitter. And so, they're going crazy on there talking about, come on, man, like, what are we doing? So I tell it to my mom, and she watched the movie. She said, I like the movie. I was like, what you mean you like the movie? Like, you supported that? She's like, yeah, Harriet Tubman was whooping ass. And then she said, and that black man got what he deserved at the end. She said, I like the movie. I said, bruh, like, this movie is inaccurate. Like, why are we doing this to Harriet Tubman? So, you know what I'm saying? So, when, we watched Elvis, it was just like, same thing. Like, because I got a sister that's 52.
Elvis drove me nuts, man. Elvis drove me nuts. That movie, I couldn't stand it. That was like, the whole thing was like, the reason he was so good at music is because he went to black church one time. That was the whole. All he did was got a pat on the back, like, at church, and he just started like, oh, I have rhythm now, like that. The movie's insane. It's so stupid. I had it, and it's all about his manager stealing all his money.
Yeah.
I had somebody that I'm friends with tell me, they were like, man, I watched the movie. I really liked his manager. Like, that's kind of what I want to be. And I was like, that's the biggest red flag I've ever heard. Yeah, like, you want to steal somebody's entire net worth? Like,
hey, man, like, it's so funny because some of the group texts I be in with other black comedians and stuff, and they be talking about like, yeah, this white guy's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like we let him know like this white person's cool, this white person we don't know.
Yeah.
This white person, yeah, we're whatever. And then he was like, it is always like at the end of these like conversations is always like a message at the end is just like, yeah, but just remember he's white, so he might steal all your money at the end of the
I know he seems cool, but yeah.
just remember.
It's kind of like what you teach your kids when they're handling a snake. You know, you're like, hey, it's cool. It's, you know, it's all right. But it's still a snake. That sucks. Damn. Before we get too deep into it, give me your social media, plug your social, and your movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm on Facebook, Phillip Cornell, St. Louis, Missouri, and Instagram, Phillip the Deal. That's about it. Like I dibble dabble with the Snapchat, but that's for that's kind of And then TikTok too. You know, that's Phillip the Deal also. So you know what I'm saying. Still putting some work into the TikTok.
Yeah. We all are. I mean, we're all just trying to figure it out. I hate it. I hate all this. I can't stand it. I spend so much time of my week trying to figure out like algorithms and hashtags and having conversations with people who are like, well, I read that you're supposed to post at 5 a.m. and I read that you're supposed to, and I'm just like it drives me insane. But it's what you got to do, you know?
I used to do it heavy like that, but like you said, like it was so much energy being put into that. And it's like I actually genuinely know people that just understand how the internet works, which is so crazy to me. Like I got like at least 2 or 3 friends that like, you know what I'm saying? They put the content out that looks real nice, sharp, clean. And they get the engagement. They know how to respond back. Like, and it's just like, fam, I'm like, and you know, like, yeah, I'll tell you what to do, but it's just like someone telling you what to do and then you actually doing it is always.
When I got out of the military, I went to school to learn how to do like this, like set up cameras and lights and how to edit and stuff like that. I really wish I would have gone to school to learn how to post on social media. That's really what it is. Because, I mean, if you have that's as good as a marketing degree. You know what I mean? Like, if you can understand Twitter and Instagram and TikTok algorithms, you're your own boss. You can be your own boss, you know?
You can, but I will say there is a girl that I follow. She changed her career to do that. I guess I forgot what the official term is. You know, it's a new whatever. But the thing about it is, like, she's been laid off twice because as soon as she get their page moving, they're like, why do we still need you?
Yeah, but that's just it. When I can see both sides of it, but I know that, like, thinking about it from a business, if somebody got my page up and running, I wouldn't know how to take it over once they.
It's simple.
You know what I mean?
Once you start getting engagement, all it really is make sure you post X number of times a week or a day, and make sure you reply to all the replies. It's not once you get it up. Now, what might fail is your content level might go down. You know what I'm saying? The quality of your content, but depends on what content you're putting out there. If you're putting that out how-do videos and stuff like that, all you need is somebody to edit that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But knowing when to post, how to post it, you know what I'm saying? What time, all of that. Once you get that moving, and people just be like, yeah, you just got to post 3 times a week, reply to these comments, make sure you put, you know what I'm saying? All you really do is need to worry about making content. Now, that might be however that's being done. You could theoretically get rid of somebody.
Well, I'd have to get somebody before I got rid of somebody. So I asked you a couple of things like you're into, a couple hobbies and stuff like that. The whole idea behind it is I ask, questions like, what's the best pizza topping? What's the best hamburger? What's the best, like that. Because anytime somebody says something's the best, it's just their opinion.
Yeah.
Right? There's no way to prove it. So it's like, maybe we agree, maybe we don't. We have a fun debate or whatever. It's just something to chop up into clips, put on social media. You know what I'm saying? So, what's the best way to describe how you think? Like your thought process.
I drive my friends crazy because I don't think typical. I always think like, so you got to think like when I grew up, like I went to private school my whole life or whatever, and so a big thing in all the schools I went to was critical thinking. So it's almost crazy to the point where like I can't just take something for what it is. I always want to think around it.
Do you like think about something and then you're like, okay, if I do this, or this could happen, and what, you like try to pre-plan out how like different scenarios and pre-plan like.
So I do, but it's even deeper than that. It's with conversations. Like if I'm planning on having a conversation with somebody, I think of 3 different possible ways the conversation can go before we actually have the conversation.
Oh,
that's how bad it is.
That gets rough. I don't do it like that, but I'll do it sometimes when somebody says something or asks me something. It's hard for me to answer because I'm like, well, and I'm just sitting there thinking through it like, well, I don't want to say this because then this, and I don't want to do that, and it's like, and then after a while they're kind of just like, all right, well, you know, it's not that big a deal. And they just kind of like walk out. And
that's that's what I had to start telling myself because it was getting to the point where it was like I was overthinking too much.
Yes.
But like if it's something simple, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll take it for what it is, and if it seems like it's the most efficient way that it could possibly be done, I let it go.
Yeah.
Like
it's when it's something vague, like when someone's like, "Hey, what's your advice for getting started in comedy?" And I'm just like,
I was like, oh. I was just like, I can tell you what I did.
Yeah,
you know,
right?
Or it's like that happens to me because people get mad because I ask counter questions, and they was like, "Why are you making it so complicated?" I'm like, because you didn't ask a specific enough question.
Yeah. Have you done a mic yet or not? Have you written a joke yet? Do you have a notebook? Are you willing to travel? Are you willing to?
Do you look at other comics? Who is your favorite comic?
Yeah.
Like what?
That's a good question because you can really gauge where somebody's like comedy knowledge is based on that question a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, if you ask somebody like, "Hey, who's your favorite they're like, "Oh, I love comedy. And you're like, "Oh, cool. Well, who's your favorite comic?" And then they say, like,
Dane Cook.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, "Oh, okay. So you haven't paid attention for like 20 years. Okay, all right. So that's where your level of knowledge is." The only one that gets confusing is when someone says like Eddie Murphy, you know, because if they're like, "Oh, Eddie Murphy's my favorite comedian," you're like, you might really love comedy because he is one of like the all-time greats.
Yeah,
you know, but also he hasn't put out a special in 30 years. So it's like, was he on top when you stopped listening to comedy? Or do you just realize how good he actually is?
I got you.
You know what I mean? Like, he's the only one that when people are like, "Oh, Eddie Murphy's my favorite," I'm like, okay, well, this guy either really knows how good he actually is or hasn't listened to a stand-up special in 30 years. It could go either way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know with me, I really didn't look at a lot of white comics. I'll be honest with you. Like, I come from the era where we looked at Comic View, you know what I'm saying? And then I used to sneak in my parents' room to look at Def Jam. So it was like, that was what I saw as being comedy. And then when I actually started doing stand-up, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would see, you would see special, like, Comedy Central had no relevance to me other than the Chappelle Show. I'll be honest with you. And Half-Baked, since they played it every freaking day, 3 times a day.
Chappelle Show, Half-Baked, South Park.
Yeah, South Park.
That was
You know what I'm saying? That was the, you know what I'm saying? So then when I start seeing Tosh.0, and you know what I'm saying, and I see that he had a show, and I'm like, oh, he's a stand-up comic? Like, I'm like, oh, these white people actually do stand-up. Who isn't Jerry Seinfeld? I never took Jerry Seinfeld's stand-up serious.
Yeah, well,
it's crazy.
Oh man, we're being recorded, so I don't know if I want to say it out loud. But I don't think Seinfeld's all that great. The show. All right, the show. Great bits, great comic, whatever. But the show, I've watched the show a couple times, and there are funny moments, but it's not as funny as everybody says it is.
So,
I don't think.
This is what I'm gonna say about it. The funniness comes from it's not supposed to be slap your knee or hilarious.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like ha ha, and it gets you through the show. And then it comes back around, and then you can get a good feeling that you have a good feeling at the end of each episode.
There are great moments, and there are great. You know, the writing is very funny, and some of like some of the humor comes from when nothing's happening at all. It's a lot of times it's Jerry just reacting to the craziness going on around him. He's just like standing there, and then the audience is like, oh my gosh, what's it gonna say? Oh, you know, like that. But I would argue that like Martin was way funnier. I mean, the number of laughs per minute in an episode of like Martin is I mean, double Seinfeld, you know?
But you don't think that they punched up Martin way more than they punched up Seinfeld?
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I sat with Guy Torrey, sat in the same chair you were, and he told me, he was talking to me about writing on Martin and how, you know, like that's what they would do. They'd be like, no, it needs another one here. And then it needs another one.
They punched it up, yeah. So, like, you just got to see the way I look at it as far as writing with stuff like that. I look at it like, what is the overall vibe of what you're trying to do? You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't plug my movie, but I have a short film, My Cousin Phil. It's currently on YouTube.
Check it out.
For now. It might be moving. I'm working with a little distro deal right now, but right now it's currently available on YouTube.
Make sure you send me the link and everything, so that way in the video I can put them. I can like put the link to the clip or the link to the movie so people can see it.
But what I would say is like I did what I call a suspenseful comedy.
Yeah.
So like that's what it was. Like some people watched it and was like, I don't know if this is funny or if it's suspense. It's both. You know what I'm saying? And we had to keep that vibe through the whole movie. So like when I look at something like a Seinfeld and stuff like that, if you laugh too hard, you're gonna mess up the vibe of what they have going through it. And that's why I think Jerry Seinfeld works so well with it, you know what I'm saying? And it's really not Jerry Seinfeld that made it genius. It was Larry David.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He's really the one that looked at Jerry Seinfeld and was this is what's gonna fit you, and Jerry just knocked it out the park.
There's a lot of people who think that Curb Your Enthusiasm is way better than Seinfeld, and I mean I kind of agree. I think I don't know. Are you familiar with it at all?
I've watched. I haven't watched as much of it as Seinfeld.
It's funny because it's pretty much Seinfeld, but like modern day, you know, because they're still making episodes, you know. But there's no real script in the show.
Yeah.
It's like the whole scene's, the way I've heard it is like the whole scene is like Larry and JB Smoove walk into a coffee shop and X happens.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And then the dialogue, back and forth.
It's all improv.
It's all improv. It's all off the top. And I think that's what makes it so funny. I think, and then they just know that it's kind of funny because you watch like some of the other actors in the scene, and a lot of times they're like, you know, especially if they're not comics, because they're like, where is this gonna go? You know, like actors are all about like reacting and stuff, and then when they're like trying to improv, they're kind of like, you know, if they're not a comic person, it's that's kind of that must have been really hard to write for your movie if it's a comic, like you said, it's like suspenseful and comedy, because comedy always breaks the tension, you know what I mean? And suspense is about building up that tension, and then a laugh will always like, it kind of resets the room, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like, was that hard when you were writing?
Actually, most of the suspense comes from the music.
Oh yeah, that's a huge.
So you match the music to what type of feeling you want with the scene, and then also like the way it was shot. it was kind of shot like a action movie kind of deal, which is kind of interesting, like a comedy like movies shot like an action movie. So it's a lot of different crazy wide camera angles and stuff like that. So that helps. It feels like you're involved in it. You put the music in there, and then when the comedy comes in, you be like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? It takes you on that roller coaster, and then sometimes we'll slow it. So when we were doing post editing, we'll slow down the suspenseful music just so you could get a decent laugh out with a nice punchline, and then we'll start it right back up again.
Let me ask you this, because I don't want to. I mean, and I don't think it'll give anything away about the movie or ruin it or anything like that, but. How long is the total movie from like start to finish?
Just 45 minutes. It's
45 minutes.
It's a short film.
And how many hours of editing did you put in on it?
I lost count.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Originally, I was charged for 30 hours of editing. Originally. Let me mind you, we've never done a movie before. The filmmaker I used, he's done music videos on top of music video, corporate events, marketing videos. Very well, you know what I'm saying? And then some of his music videos are filmed cinematically. So he kind of already knew what, you know what I'm saying, what he wanted as far as like equipment and film style and stuff like that. But neither of us could know that. Yeah. I'm talking about like I probably lost count around like 130 hours maybe.
Yeah.
That's when I lost count. That's when I stopped counting, where I was just like, let's finish this, buddy.
Yeah. You have no idea. People have no idea how much goes into editing. Just simple stuff, you know? When I first started doing this, 1 hour, like say we sat down for an hour and talked, it would take 4.5, 5 hours of editing just to get one episode, and then you put it out on YouTube and it gets like 6 views, and you're like,
oh my god,
like you're like, what am I doing? Like, it's like it's like 3 a.m. and your eyes are like dry, and you're just sitting there clicking between like keyframes, like 1 frame at a time to like make sure it lines up. Oh man.
Yeah, I know, bro. It's like, and then you freaking hop on TikTok and it's like it takes 30 minutes to make a video to go viral. And you're like, fam, you're like, man, go to hell.
Yeah. And then you have people and they're like, oh, I'd love to help you. I could edit for you. I'm really proficient. And you talk to them and they're like, I mean, I charge like, $150 an hour and stuff like that. And you're like, okay, all right. Well, yeah. Yeah, if money is just imaginary, sure, I'd love to hire you. Yeah. You know what I mean? I had somebody last night tell me, they were like, you should start, you should buy an Xbox and you should do your podcast while you guys play video games, and then you could put up the stream online or whatever like that. And I was like, if you think I have time to play video games, man, like what the hell? I have 2 kids. I have a wife. I live 2 hours away from my work. Like, if you don't think every moment of my day has been accounted for to just sit down and play Grand Theft Auto with a couple friends. Yeah, I'd love to have a sleepover, man. That'd be great. That'd be so much fun. How about June? You free in June? I got about 15 minutes in 6 months. You want to do something then?
Hey, but I will say this, though, Eric. Them Twitchers, they...
I know.
And every racking it up, but
it drives me insane every time somebody sends me a clip of one of these like Twitch streamers, and they're playing a video game, and then they're always have their shirt off. I don't know why. It was like all the guys it seems like all these Twitch streamers that play games just sit there like shirtless and just yell randomly into the microphone, and I'm like, why are people watching this? And they're like, well, he has $48 million. I'm like, what the hell? What am I doing?
They make it seem so easy, and it's so, like, I don't know, man. I get it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the whole culture of watching someone play a video game and then they're actually good at it, like, how that can be entertaining, because it's kind of like, me watching the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, I play basketball, and I was pretty decent at it, but there's a level that above me that I can appreciate because I know like what's going on. So I think that's the same thing when you watch. But some of it's just like, fam, it's just like I feel like the site just blew them up just to get more people involved in.
They said that somebody told me that TikTok will do that. it'll give you a couple, like it'll promote like a couple of your videos to go viral. So that way, and then they stop helping you. So that way you're always chasing that dragon, like always trying to get that back, and you keep creating content just in the hopes that you might go viral again. And it's like, I mean, it's just a way to like keep you in there, you know.
Hey man, we're all in the matrix, man. Come on.
But I mean, we are complaining a lot, but it is. I would rather have it this system than the old system where there were 3 TV channels, and if you wanted to be a comedian, you had to get on one show, you know. And it's like 10,000 comics in the country, and they're all competing for one spot. Like, yeah, very few are gonna make it. You know what I mean? But now it's kind of an even playing field. Like, if you have a computer, if you have a cell phone, you can technically be a comedian. You know, you can record your sets, put out clips. You can, you know, you can film yourself. You can go live and do stuff like that. So it's like, but everyone has that. So everyone's doing everyone's trying to do.
That's what I was about to say. So there's a thing called paid advertisement, as we know.
Yep.
So if you have a big corporate machine behind you, you know, they can blow you, you know what I'm saying? But how do you get a corporate machine behind you? There's 2 ways. Either you organically grow yourself to the point where they come to you, or you stand in the line with the other 10,000 comedians and they interview you and they be like, okay, we can do this with this guy, we can do, you know what I'm saying, or this person, and then they blow you from there. So, I mean, I do think the playing field is more level, like you said, than the 3 channels, but it also, with that being said, it created a lot of people that wouldn't have been comedians back then.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think you've been doing comedy enough. You see people that come through for the weekends at some of the clubs, and they have 8.6 million followers on some platform, but they've done about 6 hours of stand-up total. Yeah. And you're like, oh, this is not what you're good at, man. Like, I'm not saying you won't ever be good at it, but you got the followers first before you got the, I don't want to say talent, but kind of, you know what I mean? Like, and then, so that's why, I don't know. That's the one thing I keep thinking about is I'm like, hey, the longer it takes for this to catch on or something to catch on, at least it's just giving me time to get better. So that way when people do want to come see me, I'll have something to show them instead of just like, oh, what else do you guys want to talk about?
I've seen both ways. Like, one of my favorite newer comedians is Ryan Davis. And he's big on Facebook. You know, he's all platforms or whatever.
Yeah.
And before he had his first viral video, he had did 8 or 9 years of stand-up. So when he started going viral, you know, he was telling people, I do stand-up. And, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't that hard for him to, you know, prove that he was doing stand-up, because he's like, I've been doing stand-up for almost 9 years to this point. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just finally went viral. So, and same with Jason Banks, same type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, stand-up comedian for years before he went viral. And then, you know, but then you got, like you said, the flip side where it's like oh man, I can't believe I'm going to say this, like a King Bach. You know, he does stand-up, and I don't know what's going on with that. You know what I'm saying? He puts up clips on his page, but he got 8 million followers on Instagram and 20 million followers on TikTok. It's like, I mean, I do genuinely think, I haven't really, you know, seen him, you know, because he's LA based, so
yeah,
I haven't really seen him out here working.
But you've heard,
you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, you know. And also he what's his name? My friend said she just went to go see Joe Coy, and he featured for him.
Okay.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying, like, it's like, you know what I'm saying, like, clearly, like, that was one of them situations where it's like, because from what I understand with him, he wanted to be an actor. And acting just was too, you know, it was just, you know how acting goes.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have the certain look that they're looking for, it's over with for you.
Or you got to put on a dress.
Some crazy. You have to do something outlandish, or you just have to be what they're looking for with what they're pushing at that point in time.
Yeah.
So when he got into acting, he just wasn't what they were looking for.
It is so weird with acting. Sorry. Oh, man. It is so weird with acting, though, that like an audition is literally you're going in there, you're doing your best, and someone goes, "Nah."
Yeah.
Like you know, like it's
Yeah.
so crazy. You're like, "This is my dream," and then someone's just like, "Nah, his ears are weird."
Yeah.
Next, you know, and that's it. That's it. You're done.
That's what I'm saying. So with the acting, when he tried to get into it, it was like, you know, it was just like he just wasn't what they were looking for. So he went to Vine and blew up on Vine with the funny videos.
R.I.P. Vine.
Yeah.
I loved Vine. I did love Vine.
Yeah.
That was probably my first intro to like doom scrolling. But but I loved
Vine, and then, you know, he moved it over to Instagram, and then it was like he became the social media, you know, big guy, and then it was just like, okay, I still want to act, but at some point in time, you got to monetize, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, he's so OG that he was before they was getting paper on the internet like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Only other way to get money would be to do live performances via stand-up. So
that's the way. I mean, that's the only thing I keep. I don't know. They always say like, oh, don't read the comments, don't read the comments. But I do read the comments, partially because I feel like I have to, because I'm like, all right, do people like this? Do they like that?
Yeah.
Do I need to tweak it? How do I need to change it?
The engagement.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's so many people that are like, I've had so many, not so much anymore. I'm starting to get a lot of positive things now, which is cool, because the people that are sticking around to actually watch episodes and engage are like people that are starting to become like fans, you know, like real fans. They're like, oh no, I really like this and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so like, that's cool. Those are the people I want. But every now and then you get the asshole who's like, this sucks. And I want to be like, yeah, I know. My bad. This is the thing. I'm not that. I was like especially in the beginning. Not so much now. I've been doing it over a year now. But originally in the beginning when I started and people were like, dude, this sucks. I wanted to be like, yeah, I know. I'm figuring it out. I'm much better at stand-up. Come watch me do that. That's where I'm good at. This is the thing.
Them.
That's
I'm sorry. I was trying to hold it in. No, like what? Yeah, okay. Like, okay, there's a thing called constructive criticism. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we're old enough to where like when we grew up, like constructive criticism is way different than it was now.
You bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, all right,
like, get your fucking ass up and do it. Like, so I do appreciate that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a segment on YouTube for the most disliked videos. So people watch them not to like them. That's still helping you.
Some of the comments though are hilarious. When people are just roasting the fuck out of you, sometimes I laugh. I had one guy who just said, sending hate from Australia. And I was just like, damn.
I made it to Australia.
My video went to another continent just for someone to be like, nope, we hate you too. The first comment I ever got on one of my videos, I was so excited to get the notification. I was like, someone commented, someone's watching. I open it up, I look, it just said obese underneath it. I was like, damn.
Dog, the internet's a crazy. Let me tell you, dog. So I have 2 self-published books.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn, man, I didn't know you were so accomplished.
2 self-published books. One still on Amazon, Vacation to Graceland. It's an ebook. There's no more physical copies anymore because I stopped paying the publisher, so they stopped making them. So you could someone would probably be reselling it, but you can definitely get it ebook wise. And then there's another one called The Compulsive Move. So I did 2, self-published books. So I went through a marketing site to kind of put it out to like people that read ebooks and stuff. No lie, there's a lady from North Dakota, I think. North Dakota? I don't know. Her name's Heidi. I don't know. She read both my books.
Shout out Heidi.
She read both my books and took the time to go through each book and tell me how my editing was horrible. She put the pages on each one where there was an editing.
No shout out, Heidi.
Where there was grammatical errors.
Oh, damn.
And she was just like, yo, this is a problem. And I read both of these. I was like, damn. You took the time out your day to not only read my books, and and then go back through them and tell me each grammatical error that my editor missed. I'm like, fam, that was my sister. What?
Your sister's in 3rd grade. She's like, I'm doing my best, okay? I don't know what a preposition is. No, but what does that say about Heidi's time? You know what I mean? If she's got the time to not only read your book, but then grade it, I mean,
hey, bro.
All right, Heidi, maybe try baking some cookies or something. You know what I mean?
I don't know, dog.
Go outside, chop some firewood or some shit. Like you have that much time on your hands to just hate me from another state?
I saw her bake me on the first one, right? And I was just like, oh wow, that was pretty rough. Okay, so I put the other one out, and then she was like, oh, I'm back.
How many times we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Heidi coming in from Montana just to...
Bruh, it was crazy. And, bruh, it takes, we talked about hours of editing. It takes just as long to write a book.
I can only imagine. So, my brain is so scattered and disorganized, I would never be able to put a book together. Unless it was like a Quentin Tarantino thing where you get the last chapter first and then the first chapter and then
even that, because you still gotta fill the meat in between,
Yeah.
So all this work, and then like she just was like, "Yo, fam, like you tried this twice, and it wasn't good at either one." Whoa,
That's so. That is so wild. That is so wild that she was just. I told you, Phil. I before Eve, except after.
Man, cooked me, boy, cooked me.
Oh man. Okay. All right. You said you love Mission Impossible, so I gotta know who's the best movie spy: Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible, Jason Bourne, or James Bond?
Oh yeah.
I mean, if they're fighting,
I'm ready for it. Ethan Hunt is gonna fuck them up.
Really?
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care if he's 5'3". I don't care. I don't. Because Jason Bourne is humongous. I don't care. Ethan, no, bro. They're the people that he's taken down. Like he shouldn't have done it. I saw this man hold his breath for like 7 minutes.
Yeah, that was wild. That one gave me anxiety. I was sitting at home like, he kept missing the hatch and being whipped around. And I'm like, well, that's the end of this.
Yeah, the craziest thing I seen out of James Bond was like he ran out of air and then pulled another one from somewhere, held his breath, and then put another. You know what I'm saying? Like James Bond always has the contingency plan.
He always had another air tank. Yeah,
Ethan Hunt is just out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he's literally always out there. Like they got the gadgets and all that, but at the end of the day, the gadgets are all like based on him being him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like James Bond has never walked into an area and was just like, yeah, fam, like I don't have 2 or 3 outs. Like Ethan Hunt has gone into a spot where he was just like, well, this is the supposed out. But we know this isn't a realistic out. Like
yeah, I do feel like in every Mission Impossible movie they have this like perfect plan and it's like down to the T. And then halfway through, they're just like, fuck it. They punch somebody in the face, blow up a building, and run.
Yes,
they're just like, we tried.
I feel like James Bond don't do that, man.
No.
And then Jason Bourne, the reason why I wouldn't even put him in a category with them, because he was confused. He's always confused for so much.
Can you imagine if his brain worked right, though? He would be terrifying. He was already terrifying. He was so in those movies. He always had that thing where he would call someone, and he'd be like, "Where are you at?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm in my office." And he's like, "I doubt it, because we'd be having this conversation face to face." And then hangs up, and they're like, "Oh, he was in my house!" Whoa! Like that. It's always that crazy moment.
Yeah.
But if he was like, if he could remember shit, you know,
like, dude is literally confused half the movie, dog.
This is just 90% of Jason.
Yeah,
doing karate.
Yeah, how you gonna beat somebody that knows that's coherent?
Yeah,
like go ahead. He's gonna be like, "Why am I fighting you? What? Yeah,
that's hilarious. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of James Bond. I mean, some of them, but some of them are so ridiculous. They're so stupid. You know what I mean?
Like I'm a James Bond fan because
Yeah.
I'm such a James Bond fan. When they was talking about making Idris Elba James Bond,
Oh yeah.
I was against it.
Really? I would.
He's
I'd
a
watch,
6'4" black man.
I'd watch
He
it.
a 6'4" a spy? A spy?
In the military, when they look for spies, they don't look for guys like me because I'm not blending in anywhere. You know what I mean? If you drop me off in Nigeria, you know what I mean, and they're like, "Hey, find the CIA spy." You know, like, I stick out. But, like, they want people that, like, blend in. Idris Elba would be perfect because he could go to anywhere in the world and they'd be like...
He's not going to the Ukraine. He's not going there.
Yeah, I guess.
He's not going to Czechoslovakia.
Yeah,
He's not going there.
Yeah.
Russia, Brittany Griner, they just got her up out of there. What are we talking about? He's not doing that. If you want to be 100, he not going to South Africa either because like
that's true.
Because they're gonna be like
Idris Elba in China. That would be pretty. That would be.
What are we? You know what I'm saying?
Where's the British spy? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, he's a foot and a half taller than everyone.
But I do give it to you. If they did do it, they would be like the terror is coming from. You know what I'm saying? An African country type deal that could theoretically work, but that's why I was against that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, fam, like, look at these spots he be in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like most of them are ex-Soviet Union, you know, anarchists that he's fighting, and you know what I'm saying? And they're rich from Soviet money because they were stealing from the, you know, all these other countries. And I'm like, and he's supposed to go spy on that, fam? Like, come on.
I liked Daniel Craig. He was a good Bond, I thought. Especially the Casino Royale, because it wasn't about, he didn't have like tons of gadgets and, you know, his watch didn't
shoot
the
most
poison gas or whatever.
Hunt-ish that we got out of James Bond.
First scene where he's running through the construction site and the dude's doing like the parkour and like jumping over things and he just runs through the drywall at one point. I was like, this guy's cool. I like this guy.
Yeah.
Because it's weird when you have someone... There's always a chase scene. You know what I mean? In movies, there's spy movies, there's always a chase scene. And you're like, oh, wow, they're both experts at parkour. That's so weird, you know, like that. And you have to just like pretend like it makes sense. But that's what I liked about that James Bond. He was like, no, I can't do that. I'm just going to run through the wall. You know?
Well, it's funny because actually I like, outside of Sean Connery, obviously, because Sean Connery just had the swag, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't really athletically the best James Bond. No. But the swag and everything. But Daniel Craig, I would say, because he made it more realistic, like, because those Pierce Brosnan, Brosnan is a fantastic actor. But some of them chase scenes... I'm ridiculous. Like, boy, you can't be a pretty boy chasing somebody.
No. He always kind of had like that.
That
like look, you know.
Like,
That's how he ran in Goldeneye. He chased down a plane while like.
Yeah. Or what was that scene he had with the one with Halle Berry in it, where they was like on the ice and stuff, and he was skating, and he was like, oh.
Yeah, it was too. Yeah. You're not doing like long, smooth, you know, like that.
So that's why I would say Daniel Craig would be my favorite behind, Sean Connery.
I did like Sean Connery because it showed like some of the cool stuff he did. Like back before there was so much technology, like he'd leave for a night in his hotel room and he would like take an eyelash hair and put it on the crack of a door. And if it was still there when he got back, it means no one had opened it. But if it was gone, it means somebody's been snooping through his stuff. And I was like, oh, see, that's smart. Like, I like that. He's just like, he's cool at covering his bases. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you're right. He's not. Yeah. I feel like Sean Connery would be the one guy where, like, if someone started running away, he'd just be like, they're gone.
Yeah.
Missed them. All right. Maybe they'll be at another casino tomorrow night. He's like, all right.
There's always a second chance.
Yeah. So. That and he was, like, pretty into hitting women. So, you know what I mean? Right? Jason Bourne. Yeah. Okay. All right. You know what? I wasn't on the Ethan Hunt page when we first started this, but now I think you've convinced me. Jason Bourne would be terrifying if his brain worked, and James Bond is it depending on who it is, he's kind of just like a. He's too high class. You know what I mean?
Everything happens perfectly for him.
Yeah.
Everything it's like everything always happens in his favor.
Well, James Bond is only going after like billionaires. You know what I mean? He like if he was real, he would be trying to get in with Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, you know, whoever the Chinese billionaire is, Russia, you know, Putin and stuff like that. He'd be in like high top tier society stuff. They don't call him for like a street fight or going undercover in like, you know, a den of thieves somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean? Like that's where Jason Bourne comes in. That's because they're like
he's putting hands on people.
Yeah, I do kind of feel like maybe have you ever considered that there's somebody in the government that just hates Ethan Hunt and that's why they keep giving him impossible missions to solve? Because they're just like, we got to get rid of this guy, man. Like he's so annoying.
Basically, he's the last option to call. That's why it's. Like they bring in James Bond, they be like there's been James Bonds where they're like, well, 007, this is going to be an easy one for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's been missions where it's supposed to be easy, but it kind of gets complicated, but, you know, it's supposed to be easy. He's never had a mission where it was like, okay, look, bro, it's messed up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's always in like a nice like legal envelope or whatever, and it's like, well, there's a man, and we're not sure what he's doing. Go figure it out. And he's always like half paying attention and like flirting with the receptionist. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is just sexual harassment in the workplace. Like he's just like, oh, what are you doing, sweet tits? You know? And she's like, oh, James, like that. And they're like, come on, let's go. The world's in trouble. He's like, yeah, we'll get to it. So Friday, you and me, like that. And it's like, dude, there is more important stuff going on. Ethan Hunt's like, hey, you have 30 minutes to make it to Russia.
Yeah.
Good luck.
That's what it is. Like, stuff is already trashed. It's like they've already run the James Bond mission.
Yeah. Like, hey.
And it didn't go the way it was supposed to go. Then they contact Ethan Hunt and be like, look, dude, buddy messed up.
Do you think spies ever have to cancel gigs like comedians? And then there's like a backup list of like when someone drops out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
I can't imagine. So I don't know what the official term for a spy would be now. I guess a contractor. Is that kind of what that is? Like, you know, private contractors. Isn't that kind of like what they do? Like,
private contractors are like those are usually like ex-military guys that go become like security or soldiers for like a company.
Gotcha.
Now I wouldn't say like spies, or maybe mercenaries. I guess. Okay. I think contractor is like the less offensive term, because when you call someone a mercenary, they're like, hey.
So you're killing people abroad. You're like,
I mean, yeah, but yeah.
Okay. So I would say I couldn't imagine that. As a spy, like you can't take every some stuff is just not realistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest. Like when they was trying to get Osama bin Laden, had to be they had to contact several people. And you're not gonna tell me that on the list some of the people like, nah, fam, that's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy's like, your government needs you, and you like, fam, like we got to talk about something that's realistic here.
You know what I need? Looks like I'm gonna need to not pay my taxes this year. How badly do you want this guy?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like they had to create a whole war to kill Saddam Hussein. Think about that.
Yeah.
They had to kill him by force.
Yeah.
After years of assassination attempts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They had to kill him by force. So you're not gonna tell me that they didn't try?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So
I think, to be fair, so I don't know, and this is all just whatever speculation theory. I'm an idiot. Don't listen to me. But I think we knew where Osama bin Laden was for a long time, and we let him stay alive because I think he was feeding information. I think he was a snitch. And then as soon as he stopped being useful, they were like, hey, we found him and we got him. Woo! I think he was probably like, He'd been talking to us for years. You know what I mean?
Well,
because he was in a huge compound.
I'm about to say,
and
he
had
was in the mansion. He was in the mansion.
And they knew his routine. They knew his schedule.
Well, that was from the recon, but I mean, I find it hard that somebody was in a mansion for that long and we didn't know.
We never thought to check there. Yeah.
And then even I watched the movie, whatever that movie was, Zero Dark 30 or something like that, and they made it seem like, well, he could be a drug dealer. I'm like, fam, I'm like, come on, dog. Like, y'all trying to tell me I just watched the movie before where dude had the, who was the whistleblower?
Snowden.
Yeah. I just watched that movie before I watched that movie. So I'm like, buddy, we can have the technology. Yeah. Like, and this man been in a mansion? Like, at least they pulled Saddam out of a hole, a cave.
Yeah.
They pulled him out of a cave.
Do you remember that video when they found him? And they open up the cover, and you just see him. He's down there, and he's like, a big beard and stuff, and he's like, oh, shit. Like that.
Yeah. He was
oh, damn. Yeah.
So they pulled him out of cave. So you trying to tell me they didn't know dude was in a mansion this whole time in Pakistan?
Uh-huh.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't believe that either. The first time I was like, nah, that seems a little, I bet we've... I bet I get now, like the Navy SEALs that got him, they probably found out like 20 hours before, you know what I mean, to do the recon and stuff. Yeah. But I guarantee you the CIA or somebody was like, oh, yeah, we know exactly where he is. But we figured we were just listening to his phone calls. So he's useful. And then when he's not useful anymore, we'll probably get rid of him.
It is what it is what it is, man. We'll never know.
No, and if it does, that's just the thing. Like, even when they release secrets these days, everybody's like, I don't know. Like, I was big into aliens, and then as soon as the government's like, yeah, there's aliens, I was like, no, that's fake. They're not aliens. Do you instantly, like, distrust every time the government comes out and says something? I instantly am like,
I don't. Well, you different because you were actually in the military. So, like, people that's been in the military, like, they always raise their eye at anything the government does anyway. I got several friends like that where they were just like, man, I don't know, bro. I seen crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't know. Like, especially, like, if you've seen it at that level, like, it could literally be anything. Like, you've seen so much crazy stuff. So, but like that guy with the aliens, did you see his eyes?
Which one? Which one are you talking about?
The guy that recently came out talking about that there's aliens and he worked for the government and stuff like that. You didn't see that?
Mm-mm.
Dog, my mom showed me the video, dog. She was like, I don't believe him. Like, he looked nuts.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, how do you, because it does sound crazy to be like, there's people in the sky and they're green and they're flying around, you know what I mean? But if you saw that, you would also be like, you would be shaken up. You know what I mean? Anybody who comes out, he's like, there's little green men and they're flying in it. If he's super calm about it, that's an alien. You know what I mean?
Like Men in Black.
Yeah.
There was or like what they did on like Transformers, like there was an extraterrestrial anomaly.
We've had an entanglement with another species. They send Jada Pinkett out to make the announcement. She's like, we've had an entanglement with another planet civilization. Best Fast and the Furious movie.
I don't know because they're all one movie at this point.
It's perfect. It really is. It's kind of like a TV show, right?
I don't know.
It's just a new episode.
Dog, I get them so confused. I don't even want to break it down. All I know is like I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there. Like, dog, it's like what else can you do? And I'm just amazed that, dog, this man saved this last movie. I believe he saved Rome in a Hellcat. Like what?
He saved him in a Hellcat?
Like a Hellcat?
Yeah,
He saved the city of Rome in a Hellcat.
Oh, I thought you meant Rome, like Tyrese's character's name is Rome.
No!
I thought you were like, oh, he was in a car and he saved him?
City. The city.
He saved the city of Rome in a Challenger
Hellcat.
How did he do that?
You see how crazy that sounds?
Yeah, it was so crazy.
You associated it to a person.
I did.
Because that would make sense.
Yeah.
No, he saved the city.
Because Tyrese's character's name is Roman. Roman, right?
Yeah,
Roman Pierce.
Yeah.
So when you said he saved Rome, I was like, okay, there was a car crash and he saved him. That's actually the most mild thing that's ever happened.
Fam,
the city of Rome, the capital of Italy. He saved
in a Hellcat.
In a Hellcat. How did he? Dude,
bro, you gotta see. I can't.
He just ties a rope to the Coliseum and pulls it.
At this point, I can't even explain it. Like you gotta watch it.
I don't think anybody can. They're just like it.
You gotta watch. That's what I'm saying. Like you said, the best music. I like, dog. They're all this. I confuse. I don't remember what movie where they was dragging the safe to the point where like
that was
there was a satellite that was coming down.
4 or 5.
I don't
with the safe.
It might have been 5.
The last one I remember is the one with the plane at the end, where they were driving next to the plane and they shot it with harpoons or whatever to hold it down.
That was like 8.
Yeah, and the runway was like 29 miles long. Where like because the scene takes 26 minutes like of the movie. It's the big final climax, and I just the whole time they're going 100 miles an hour down a runway, no turning, no nothing, and I'm just like, how long is this runway? You know what I mean? Like, is the plane just gonna drive there? Like what?
I don't. Like I said, like if people was like my friend was like, you're the problem. You're why they keep making them. I'm like, but I want them to keep making them because I don't know what else.
You know what?
What else can like this is like once you like take out the fact like the realistic part of it, like once you just like let that go, you can enjoy the movie.
Yeah, suspension of disbelief. I'm all about it. I'm not a huge I talk shit on Fast and Furious, but it's fun to talk shit. It's fun to watch something that, like the YouTube you were talking about. It's fun to watch something that sucks, kind of.
Yeah.
Like it's not bad. I like it because they take it so serious, and they think we are taking it serious too, and we're like, oh no, we're just. I mean, why not? The world's so screwed up these days that like anytime I turn on the news, I just get sad. Like I just get depressed like instantly. So I like turning on something that means nothing, you know? I like turning on something that's just going to distract me for a little bit
I just got tagged in the comment like yesterday. It says, I watched Fast 10 last night. I'm still trying to mentally recover from what I seen. And then I commented and says, was it not ridiculously amazing?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, say that again just without the word amazing. I'm like, I'm on the internet caping for this franchise because we need as long as you just all they just need to do like you said, like it's just the fact that they're taking it serious, they think we're taking it serious, and so it makes it that much better when you're like, oh wow, like somebody sat down and was like, yeah, this gonna get him right here.
As long as Vin Diesel is alive and as long as Pitbull is making music, we will have the Fast and the Furious.
Yes.
I want to see it go. Well, I mean, how far do you want to see it go? Like, I want it to be Vin Diesel is 85 years old. He doesn't have a car, but he's got like a souped up golf cart or something like that. And they're all in like hover round scooters at a mall. And that's where they got to stop shoplifters. That's where I want to see Fast 27.
I would watch that, but as long as they keep the meathead energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as long as they don't go woke. As soon as they go woke, it's over with.
Yeah.
Like, you have to keep that douchebag energy.
Yes.
So as long as you keep that douchebag energy where, like, yeah, I can do whatever.
Yes.
As long as I'm there for it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If you like Axe body spray,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Make movies for people that still wear Axe body spray.
Yes.
All right? Make movies for people that are actively trying new Mountain Dew flavors. All right? If you get excited about the release of a new Doritos bag, Fast and the Furious is for you. You know what I mean? That's what we need. If you're excited to try a limited time item at Long John Silver's, Fast and the Furious is for you.
Or White Castle.
White Castle, yeah. If you get excited about a new slider,
yes,
Fast and the Furious, yeah. Let me introduce you to Vin Diesel.
Yes.
Let me skip ahead. Do you drink?
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Well, what's the best time and place to have a drink, like a beer or a drink or whatever? And which drink are you going with?
So I will say this, that I am a social drinker.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't usually casually drink. You know what I'm saying? I only socially drink. So definitely the best time would be when you're with other people, you know, to be social for me personally.
Yeah.
I'm a dark liquor type of person.
Okay.
So usually when I'm out at the clubs, I'll go with the Jack Daniels.
Okay.
Like a Jack and Coke, or just Jack on the Rocks type deal. Kicking it with friends, non-comedian friends, which they hate me for. Definitely Hennessy. So the thing about it is, like, my friends are kind of torn between Hennessy and Remy Martin. So I have like a segment of friends that only drink Remy Martin, and then I have another segment that only drink Hennessy. And then now a thing is tequila, which is technically, according to them, a higher grade of alcohol than
It depends on the tequila.
So that's what I'm saying. So like, it's a lot of Reposado, you know what I'm saying? You
Okay.
know, going on,
Resposado's not bad, man.
I'm about to say. So
yeah, that's a good one. So long as you're not going with like Montezuma or whatever. If it comes in a plastic jug, I hate to tell you,
that makes the best margaritas.
Yeah,
don't put
a margarita isn't judged by its tequila. And as a white person, I maybe shouldn't be saying this. All right, I don't know. Not my culture. I probably shouldn't make rules, but the whole thing, like, if you have a good enough mix or whatever, the margarita mix, you can cover up any shitty tequila with.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dog, like there was a thing like a couple years ago when I used to be at the club a lot. Like, people were just like, no, you got to get these Patron margaritas. And I'm just like, fam, like, and they were like an extra $5.
Yeah, well, Patron, yeah.
And so then I'm just like, and I'm drinking it, and I'm like, man, throw this Montezuma in my shit. The Jose Cuervo. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? It's a margarita. Like,
Jose Cuervo Gold. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like, if I can see if we're taking shots and like, yeah, this tequila, like, you know what I'm saying? I want to do Patron. I don't want Jose Cuervo. You're making a margarita, buddy. Like, this, it's the same margarita with this Patron in it, as you said, the Montezuma. Like,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So
that's what they do when you go to like a Mexican restaurant. Unless you specifically ask for, hey, I want a margarita with this in it.
They put in
the house margarita is always bottom shelf. You know, and
it slaps,
and it's great.
Slaps.
It's $3 for one like this big.
It's at I forgot spot, whatever they call it, the Cadillac margarita or whatever it was.
Yeah. And there's always
like,
a Cadillac
like,
something.
Do you want the 8 ounce or the 12 ounce? I say, bring me the 12 ounce.
Yeah.
But no, bring me the pitcher.
There's the Mexican restaurant. So like every small Midwestern town has one standalone Mexican restaurant, right? I don't know where, like, it's always something, it's always a different name, you know, but it's so good. Ours is called Don Carlos, and you can get a gallon of margaritas to go. It comes in a milk jug.
Duh! I didn't know that the pandemic. I started doing it at the pandemic. It's a spot. I live in Florissant, North County, and there's a spot, Ruiz. They start making a killing doing that. And then, like, my homeboy was like, what you doing, man? He was just like, yeah, bro, I'm finna get these, you know, these chips and salsa. Because I think the rule, or it was some type of law where they can't give you alcohol unless you have food. So you kind of got to order the
Damn,
food
okay.
to get the alcohol. It was some type of weird ordinance. I don't know if that was like a fluorescent or is it a state thing. I don't know what it was, but that or if it's their personal
That
rule.
might, yeah, I think that makes sense, probably.
But you have to get food. So like he went to a different level. Like me, so I get chips and salsa. Cool, we take care of the chips and salsa. We're really here for this margarita jug.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're here for, right?
I like the blue ones.
Dog, he went to a different level. This man bought a lemon.
A lemon.
He bought a lemon for 69 cents. And got the margarita.
Yeah. It works. It works.
I said, bruh. He said, man, look, dog. He said, you know why I'm up here.
They know why I'm here.
I don't want no tacos, no chips, no salsa, no empanada. I want the margarita.
That's perfect. That's a great one. My favorite time, I'm like you. I'm a social drinker. I don't drink very often, but when I do, like if I have one, I'm gonna have 12. You know what I mean? And that's why I don't drink very much. It's just because it gets expensive, and like
I want to do it.
I wake up in the morning, and I'm like, oh, I'm so fat. Oh, I'm full of beer or whatever. And I don't even like beer anymore. I'm a tequila drinker now. But my favorite time, I remember there was a couple times in the military, we'd go on like a long, like 25-mile hike or whatever, and you get done and you're just exhausted, and you get in the shower with a beer, like an ice cold beer in a hot shower after you've been just
You drink the beer in the shower?
Oh, hell yeah. You just sit there and like you sip it. You can put it up on the shampoo shelf. It doesn't get water or, soap in it or anything like that. And you just, you just sit there. Oh, nothing feels better when your body is just like done physically, and you just sit there and you just sip on that beer in the hot shower.
So I'm going to ask you this as a military man, a veteran. What is your beef with like American-made beer?
I don't really have a problem with it.
Because every military person, I only drink imports. And
really?
Yeah. Nah. It's like I thought it was like, just my cousin and them, and then the more person, like they like, nah, fam, like I don't like American beer. I'm like, bro, we live by Anheuser-Busch, buddy. Like
I drink it. People used to make fun of me because I would drink. We would go when I was in like Japan. We'd go to a bar and I'd be like, "Hey, do you guys have a Budweiser?" And they're like, "You drink Budweiser?" And they would like all like because like a lot of my buddies they were like they were brew heads, so they were all like, "Oh, give me the IPA, give me the stout, give me the." It was so weird for like before. Okay, so before Bud Light had its whole big controversy or whatever about people used to say, and I don't want anybody to attack me, but they used to be like, "Dude, Budweiser's gay. Like it's so basic. It's not even beer. It's like water." Everybody would say that, and then they would go and order like can I get the pink Himalayan salt milk stout, please? And I'm like, really? My beer is gay? Yours came out with a lemon wedge in it. Like, what are you talking about?
Or a little bit of strawberry at the bottom.
Yeah. You got strawberry and parsley on top. And my beers, what?
You think they finna order like a strong German beer or Austrian beer? Or
Like you pink Himalayan salt? Get out of here, man. Get out of here. Or they order a cider. Can I get a passion fruit cider? And you're like, all right, man. Look, don't judge my drink. I won't judge yours.
I had
but
some beer with lavender in it. I didn't even know you could drink lavender like that.
You're just really calm.
Yeah.
It's just
I was like, all right, like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, one of my best friends, he was a tour guide at Anheuser-Busch for, like, 3 or 4 years. So, I never used to drink beer before that. Like, I always drank, like, hard alcohol or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I got these tickets where I just get free beer, you know what I'm saying? And so then I just start drinking it, and I just like, yo, I don't get it. And so then he took me up there, went on a tour, and let me talk to one of his buddies, and he was just like, no, man, it's like, you just got to develop a taste for it. And I'm just like, so I got to just keep drinking some that I don't
like, and it's more expensive. I don't want to pay $15 for one beer that I'm not even going to like anyway.
Until,
you know what I mean?
3 years later, once I become...
Yeah, until I've gotten so used to it that I'm like, oh, well, I guess.
Well, this is kind of different from this, and then that's where the fun happens. Like,
yeah, what? You know why? Like, okay, I agree. Budweiser's not the best beer. Bud Light's not the best beer, but I know what it tastes like, and it's cheap. You know what I mean? I know that I can drink that, I can tolerate it, and it's not going to break my bank if I decide to have a couple. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I hate it when you go and you like everybody has all these craft microbreweries and all this stuff, and then they're like, oh, try this, and you're like, I don't really like it, and they're like, oh, that's too bad, $12.95 please, and you're like, but I don't even like the beer, and it's like, yeah, well,
that's how I feel about food. Like it's like food is so expensive now, where it's like, fam, like if I sit down and it's not where it needs to be at, and you charging me $30-$40,
wait till you have a family. And you're not going anywhere for less than $65-$70.
And it's not good?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's my dad pet peeve. That's when the dad side of me comes out so much. When we go, like my daughter's birthday is soon. I'm not gonna say when. That's probably too much information, but it's soon. And I was like, where do you want to go for your birthday? Like, it's your day. Like, pick where we go out to eat and stuff. And she was like, Applebee's. And I was like, I'm not paying $35 for a microwaved meal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing it. Like,
well, you did say y'all from Cape, bro. Like,
yeah, there's no other.
That might be like
when I was growing up, Applebee's was like fine dining. You know what I mean? Like Applebee's.
Didn't they make fun of that on like what was it, Talladega Nights?
Yeah. I'm just trying to enjoy a nice meal at the Applebee's with the family. Yeah.
So I was like, you just bougie now, man. That's what happened.
No, I like. Oh man.
I mean, but we've had this talk before, Eric.
Yeah.
Like, you need to, for your daughter, like you need to show her fine things, because you don't want.
That's why I want to.
You don't want no bum coming through and taking her to Applebee's and she thinking like he.
Exactly. I need to teach her how to.
We talked about this already.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, I need to teach her how to cook, because if I don't want her to get
let
swept.
her know, like, be like, look, fam, like we need to go to a better restaurant.
That's what I'm going to tell my wife. I'm going to be like, we have to start eating at higher quality places.
At least like once every 3 months or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want my daughter to get swept off her feet by a Crave case from White Castle. You know what I mean? I don't want her settling down with somebody in a bag full of QT rollers.
He did the nicest thing for me. He took me to Applebee's 3 weeks in a row. You're like, oh my God.
We split a 2 for $20 meal. I'd be like, damn,
he's really,
this guy's smooth. What is he, James
Bond? So, hey, man. Yeah, you got to fix that, buddy.
Well, that's just it. There's everywhere we live, besides for the one standalone Mexican, besides for Don Carlos, everything where I live is just a crappy chain restaurant. You know what I mean? It's just Burger King, McDonald's, Taco Bell, and then like Outback, Applebee's, Red Lobster, Olive Garden. Like, those are the restaurants, you know? And there are a couple like smaller, you know, just local places, but my wife doesn't like them. You know what I mean? It's always just like, oh, can't we just get our usual? You know what I mean? I'm like, no.
Like, we got to try something. He said, I will drive you to St. Louis.
Yeah. I've offered so many times. Have you ever had Gramophone?
So
once a podcast, I mentioned them.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
I was out with some friends like for like 1 or 2 years ago, and it got late, and he's like, yeah, we going to Gramophone. And then I was just like, okay. I mean, like, I ain't never been there. It's like, you ain't never been there.
Yeah.
Like they got excited, and those sandwiches. Oh, buddy.
Oh, I didn't realize that I could love a sandwich place as much as I love this place. Like, I've spent my wife's had to have conversations with me where she sits me down and she's like, did you know that you spent $87 last month on sandwiches? Like that. And I'm like, oh man, but they're so good. And so she's like, you can get it once once a week you can go to Grandma. And I'm like, but I love going. And she's like, once.
Yeah,
and so
man.
now I went last night and I was just looking at the menu and I'm like, how can I just get one? You know what I mean? How can I
like,
just
I haven't been here so long.
I haven't been here.
I have one for now, one for the road.
There's a new special. Do I try it because it's a limited time only, or do I go with one of the ones I know? I was like panicking, you know?
My goodness.
It's so good. It's good.
I didn't know until they put me on game, man, and it was yeah, man. It was like, cause I asked my homegirl, I was like, so what sandwich should I get? She was like, well, I have 3 that I like.
Mm-hmm.
But she said, for you.
Yeah.
You want this one. And then when they do it where you can get a half a sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
And put it together to make a whole so you can get 2 different sandwiches.
Yes.
What? What are we talking about here?
I've
You're
never
giving me options like this?
Every time I've ever seen someone do that, where they get 2 halves of a different sandwich or whatever, like, you know, and then they'll eat both of them and they'll be like, damn, I wish I would have gotten a whole sandwich. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that was so good. I kind of wish. Actually, that happened last night. And we put in our order, and then we got our food, and we were sitting there eating, and they were like, hey, we're about to do last call. And we were like, all right. And this guy finished his sandwich, and he's like, oh, damn, you think I can still get one in before they close it down? I'm like, you can try. And I watched him walk to the counter, and they just went, no. Like that. And he was like, oh. Best way to treat yourself to something nice. All right, you've been working hard. You hit a big accomplishment. What are you? What are you doing? How is Phil gonna get rewarded?
So interesting thing about me, I like to give gifts, but it's always I have a weird reaction of receiving them.
I do too. I don't like getting gifts
because I feel like I have to act.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you want it to be natural, like happy and stuff. Like I get happy like when I partake in a project and then the project's done.
Yeah,
I'm like, yes, like that's the type of happy. But if you give me something, I have to actually create a reaction so I don't feel bad, like make you feel bad about getting it. So it'll be like for me, I go the fuck to sleep.
Actually, that's not a bad one.
I get rest.
That's a good one. I like that a lot. When hey, I worked hard, I earned this nap, you know, or I earned a night of going to bed early, and I'm gonna sleep in a little bit tomorrow, you know. I love that. That's a perfect way. It's not bad for your health. It's not bad for your bank account. It's not unhealthy. You know what I mean? Just, dude, a nap. That might be the best answer I've ever heard.
Yep.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I think, man, I hope I could do that. I feel like, see, I'm not, I'm the kind of guy who's like, yes, you know, like I get a win and then I end up doing more damage than I did good. Cause I end up like, I don't know, I end up spending $40 at Gramophone on 4 sandwiches. Cause it'd be like, I'm featuring now, you know, or whatever. Like, I got a feature weekend. And it's like, okay, well, the whole weekend you're going to get paid $300 and you just spent 80 of it at Gramophone. You're like,
I've done that before. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? My friends are big on celebrating.
Yeah.
They tell me, they make me celebrate. Because they know me, like I said, like I'm one of the people, like once it's done, like the accomplishment of finishing it is really enough for me. You know what I'm saying? But they was like, no, man, you gotta celebrate. And so then that's where it's like where they make me celebrate, which is cool. I don't mind. That's why I keep the friends that I keep, because, you know, you need people like that. But if it was left up to me, like, yeah, fam, I like, where you at? Like, so what you do after that? Like, I went home, fam. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it was, I'm exhausted.
I microwave some popcorn, watch the Mission Impossible, and went to bed.
I was like, yeah, bro, that sound best to me. Like, I remember one birthday I had. It was when I didn't have a girl or anything. It was just me. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, yeah, what did you do for your birthday? I was like, dog, I went, got a massage, and ordered some crab legs.
Ooh.
I had a great day.
Yeah. That sounds like a perfect. I'd love to get it. Oh man.
And then my one friend, she was like, "Well, I would have paid for the massage." I'm like, "No, I did it myself." But I mean, you know,
I wouldn't like that if someone else did it for me, paid like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy you a massage." I'm like,
Yeah.
all right. Well, when am I gonna? Oh, great. Now I have to take time to go do it. But if it's my decision to go get it, then it's like, okay, it's my decision, and then I would enjoy it more. But if someone was like, "Hey, I bought you this massage," I'd be like, "Oh, that's so inconvenient. It doesn't fit in my schedule." Blah, blah, blah. You know, like I would have found a reason to hate it for somehow.
For real, I got gift cards I ain't never used, but my sister put me on game. She gives out, so my sister doesn't eat meat.
Okay.
So she'll get gift cards from her. She works at a daycare and it's like rich people and stuff.
Yeah.
So she gets like great like gifts. Like I mean, like talking about like, and she doesn't drive and she doesn't eat meat, so she'll get like $300 worth of gas cards easily in like a a holiday season time.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, fam, like she'll be like, you get one, you get one, you get one. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like I like, hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, so she just like, yeah, Phil. She was like, if it's something you don't like it's okay to give it out. Like give it to somebody that's gonna use it. Like I'm pretty sure the person that meant for you to have it meant for you to use it. That's you know what I'm saying?
Or for it to get used.
Yeah.
You know?
So but me, I'm a little selfish. I'll be trying to trade.
No, I will give it out to people. I've done that before. Like when I've gotten something and it's just been like, I'm probably not going to use it. Hey, you want this? Hey, you want this? Hey, you know what I mean? And you don't tell the person who gave it to you. You just think, oh, thanks. I appreciate it. That was really nice of you. And then you just.
I shouldn't probably say this. Probably like, so I had got, my uncle had gave me, my mom, and my sister gift cards to Ruby Tuesdays. And it was like, fam, like, I don't know what to do with this. And my mom, so she's slick. She one of them people where she'll buy something or she'll get something and she'll make it seem like she's giving it to you from her. Like, it's not like where it's no like, yo, fam, I got it. I didn't want it. Do you want it? No, it's like, hey, I got this for you. So, you know what I'm saying? So she give me these 3 gift cards to Ruby Tuesday worth like $35 or something. You know what I'm saying? She's like, yeah, take a girl on a date. I'm like, I don't know women that eat at Ruby Tuesdays. Like, I don't date women.
I mean, whichever woman agrees to go on a date next is going to eat at Ruby Tuesdays.
Like, nah, man, not in this world.
Do you ever, how would you feel? They come over, they bring the check, they put it down, you open it up. You think she's going to judge you if you pull out 4 gift cards and a debit card like that all at once? That would be a tough look. I feel like that's a tough look.
So what I would do personally is I would just like, I'm already going to have it all bundled up. Yeah, put it in there. Yeah, pop it. I'll be like,
hold it close. Until they come
So I'm already doing that. But I would say like dating, like you married, you got kids.
Yeah.
Like it's wild out here, man. Like it's always a video going viral of somebody straight tripping on a date.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I'm saying?
The reason I asked that is because I know what it feels like. I bought my wife a TV one time at Walmart, and we were there and for some reason her family was there, something like that. This is long ago. And I had a gift card, and then I had like a temporary debit card that had like $500 on it, but you couldn't, once the $500 was gone, it was just useless. So it was basically like 2 gift cards, and then I had my debit card. And so I was like, all right, this TV's like $600. I'm going to use this $50 gift card. I'm going to use whatever's left on this card, and then I'm going to use my debit card. And standing there with her whole family watch me swiping like 3 plastic cards, they were all looking at me like, this man's got credit card problems, you know what I mean? Like people, I could feel it. And I was like, it took me forever to explain. My wife had to be like, no, like that's a gift card, and like that's just like a cash card. You know what I mean? And then like that's a debit
You
card.
felt like that? Saving money?
100%.
Dog, whoever was looking at they can suck my dick. Fam, I work at a pharmacy, fam. Like,
okay.
For real, dog, there's a card for OTC items. There's a card for prescriptions. There's coupons for brand name medicines. Some people have 2 insurances that you have to bill at the same time, and they expect you to do this like in a line, like a regular retail line type deal. So, fam, like I see that all day. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it all comes up to the same thing. Like, if it comes down to me saving $300, you can go kick rocks. Like, my transaction just took 8 minutes. But guess what? I got $300 in my pocket. Like, yeah, dog. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, that's just the game. Like, I don't feel, me personally, I have no problem saving money.
See, you know I don't even ask for like veteran discounts and stuff. Because I just, like, when I go somewhere, my wife's always like, do you guys offer veteran discounts? And I'm like, babe, stop, don't do that. She's like, why? And I'm like, I don't know. It just makes me feel weird. Because then there's always that weird moment where they're just like, oh, yeah.
It depends on where we're at. So
thanks for your service. And you're like, thanks.
If we're making a big purchase, then run me the veteran discount.
Okay. That's true.
But we're at the Krogers or the goddamn either Aldi's. And do you got a better? If we're at the Walgreens, fam, you went into the Walgreens because you didn't want to go to Walmart. No, fam, let it ride. Let it ride. You shouldn't be in there running it up like that anyway. Let it ride, dog. Like, let it ride.
I don't know. It doesn't bother. It bothers me less and less, I guess, the longer I'm out of the military. But when I was in and people would like see me and they could tell and then they would say something, I'd be like, come on, man, it's my day off. Like, it's just my job. Like, leave me, you know what I mean? So like, you work at a pharmacy. Like, if you were out in town, like say you're at a restaurant on a date and somebody came up to you and they're like, hey, can I combine this medication and this medication? You'd be like, I'm eating dinner. You know what I mean? You'd be like, no, I wouldn't do it, and don't drink on that one, you know, or whatever. Like, you'd be like, that's my job. I'm trying to like forget.
Not be with it.
And then people would come up and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for what you do. And you're like, you know what I did today? I raked rocks. Do you know how bored you have to be to rake rocks?
So what you gonna do, like, when you become this big famous comedian?
Oh man!
Because doesn't Chappelle have like bits about that where he was just like people used to come up to him with his family and recite like
I'm Rick James, bitch. And he's like, hey, my kids are here.
I'm with my. So how you gonna like? Are you what type of famous person would you be? Are you gonna be the one where you'd be like, like I have a security guard be like, I don't want nobody to come talk to us? Or is it going to be like where you'd be like, or like...
No, unless something happened. Like if it got to the point where I'm like, all right, this is getting out of control. This is getting dangerous. If I'm DJ Khaled level where people are lined up outside my phone store, you know, and I just mobbed them, maybe. But like last night I was hanging out with somebody and they got recognized while we were at Gramophone. And a dude came up and was like, oh my gosh, dude, I love you. I love your podcast, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, he was just like talking to the guy. The guy's like, hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Oh, cool. You want a picture? Let's take a picture, you know, like that. And he did it and it was cool. Like, and then I was like, does that ever get annoying? And he's like, nah, it's cool because I can tell when someone's like just a fan, you know, and they're just excited. And then he's like, that makes me feel good. And so that's cool. But he's like, sometimes they get pushy. And they're like, you're coming to hang out with me tonight. You're going to do, you know, and it's like, no, I'm not. Okay. Yeah. So it kind of depends on the person, I guess.
The energy, because.
I don't want to think that I would be that guy that's like, don't talk to me. Nobody, I'm not signing any autographs.
I don't think no one plans on being that guy.
No.
It just happens.
But then you hear about it.
Yeah.
But then you always wonder, like, okay, well, what happened to make them like that? You know what I mean? Because, like, some people are like that just because they think
they're better than
they
people,
think they're better than other people. But some people, I mean, you know, if somebody came up to me and was like, "Hey, take a picture with me," and I was like, "Hey, not right now, I'm with my family," and then they like punch me in the face, you know what I mean? Like, next time you see me, I'm gonna have 7 guys with me, you know?
Like, whoa, like last person like punched me in the face. Like,
Hold up, man.
And jeopardized the safety of my family. So it was like a battle rapper. Hitman Holla. That happened to him. He's on Wild and Out, where he was at a barber shop with his son, and dude came in and was like all in his son's face and stuff like that. And dude was like, "Relax, fam. Like,
chill.
I'm trying to spend time with my kid, and get his haircut." And he ended up like fighting dude. And then people was just like, "Oh my God, you can't be a celebrity and fight people." I'm like, "You absolutely can."
Yeah.
Like, dude, like, dog, like, for one, like, if I ask you to leave the presence of my child, you know what I'm saying? Like, on top of, like, we're not comfortable anymore. Like,
I get real protective around my kids.
Yeah.
And like, even and my wife, like Ronaldo's probably like my best friend in the St. Louis, you know, area or whatever. And I think he's met my wife 3 times in 6 years, because I always kind of like keep them at a distance. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's a lot of it's a lot of weirdos. Like,
there's no other way to say it.
I'm about to say it's a lot of weird. Like, dog, this comedy thing is the only thing where, like, I think Chad Wallace told me there's no HR department.
No.
So you literally, like, some people are weirdos, and you gotta really be like.
It really is. It is like a chess match sometimes, because you got to figure out. You're like, all right, what is this person's intentions, and how do I navigate this conversation with them? Because, for whatever reason, they hold some power in comedy, and now I have to kind of suck up to them for a little bit. But at what point do I say, like, all right, man, you got to chill, because like,
this is.
There have been a couple people. We've been doing it about the same amount of time, right?
It'll be 7 years in March.
Okay, so you're about a year ahead of me, but we've seen people kind of, especially like here in the city. There's people that kind of rise to power a little bit, and they book shows, and somehow they get some pull with the clubs and stuff like that. And then after a while, they kind of fall back out. And it's usually, if you're someone who holds some power and you're kind of a dickhead, that's not going to last very long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But while they're in power, you kind of have to toe the line, and you kind of have to like, oh, what's up, man? Yeah, it's good to see you too. Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, for sure. And then they make fun of you, and you're like, haha, yeah.
So we have, I think with you and me, we have the same demeanor when meeting people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're naturally just cool people.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I get that vibe from you. Like, you naturally a cool, you're a cool person, but you kind of have like the same quality where I have, where it's just like, I mean, if you ask me questions, I'll answer them, but I'm not going to volunteer too much information out the gate until I catch whatever vibe that you're giving off.
Yeah. I kind of feel like I can walk into a room full of people and talk to everybody or talk to no one and be perfectly fine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So if I'm sitting in the corner and I'm just by myself, you can come talk to me. That's cool. Or don't. You know, you're like that. Like,
I'll be fine either way.
I'll be all right. I got things to think about. Like, do you ever when you're in the car, do you ever like drive in silence sometimes, or just like have moments in silence?
So what's crazy is that's when the jokes get written.
Yeah.
In the car and in the shower.
Yeah.
Because the shower is silence.
Yeah.
And then the car, like, sometimes, I will turn the music down, but I'm one of the people where, like, when I like to work, I don't like too loud of music in the background.
Yeah, I don't like, I a lot of times, because I drive a lot, and a lot of times I'll drive in silence, and there's a bunch of people who are like, that you're an insane person. You're a psychopath.
But you're a comedian, so that's when the jokes are, the content is, everything's starting to, you know what I'm saying?
I was like, oh, I'm sorry that in here is much more entertaining than what's going on out here. And it's like, which one? Okay, they like, you're a psychopath. You sit in silence. And I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable with my own thoughts. Which one of us is less crazy. You know what I mean? Like if you're scared to not be entertained 24 hours a day, maybe you're hiding from something. You know what I mean?
What are you running from?
What are you running from?
If I listen to the voice, what's it gonna tell me?
Must kill Joe Biden. You know,
like, yo, why am I having these thoughts? Turn the music. But a lot of people brains are fried by like too much social media and like too much like we're in a world where you can be overstimulated. We're overstimulated.
Oh yeah, all the time.
So the thing is, like I said, with us, like we are actively trying to create all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why we might need silence so we can piece things together. That's why when you like, that's not weird to me that you say that, because I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But some people have to be overstimulated. They're like, and it's like you said, like at some point, when is enough enough?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to put limits on that. You have to have those moments where you're like, no, I'm gonna do the uncomfortable thing. Like, because I think it's they always say like comedy comes from pain, but I also think it comes from moments of like discomfort too. You know? Like when you're around someone you don't really want to be around, you're a little irritated. Maybe you're, you know, we were talking about this earlier, your joints hurt or something like that. Sometimes I'll take cold showers just to be like, just to like fight through that like bitter, like, you know, you just hold it in there for, you know, 4 minutes. You just sit in freezing water. And then you stop. Like, it's not that ice bath stuff. I can't. I don't have enough money to have a frozen pool. You know what I mean? That's what the thing. Like, that whole ice bath thing that's people are doing now.
Yeah.
It's like
you can go to a facility for that now.
Yeah. Like what? Just take a cold shower, man. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You can't tell me it's not. You put your face in a stream of cold water. Tell me it's not the same as just getting in a frozen tub. But anyway, you do that, and then afterwards, I feel like you're just like, all right, well, I put myself through something difficult. If there's something else that happens, I can get through that too. You know what I mean? And I like doing that, and I feel like that's where your brain like starts firing, it starts snapping.
Become solution-based instead of panic-based.
Yeah, because if you're comfortable all the time, your brain's just going to be like, this is nice. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I see. That the creative process is always interesting, so.
What do you think the best length of time for a haircut is? I mean, like, in chair, best length of time for a haircut. Are you somebody who's like, hey, in, out, get me in and out, 20 minutes? Or are you like, no, I want 2 hours. I want you to, like, all the
So, my situation is a little interesting because, I mean, I know you're not privy to black people hair. So for one, I got to joke about it, but yeah, I'm not comfortable with letting a white person cut my hair.
Yeah.
It's just, I've been called racist and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry. No. I'm like, I don't want to risk a bad haircut.
I get it. It makes perfect sense.
And I'm just like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not risking that, dog. I used to get sent like ads for Great Clips, and they always got the one black person on there smiling and stuff on the little ads and stuff. I'm like, that nigga's a liar. Like, what?
That's so funny.
Dog. And it's just, no, I'm going to a black barber shop and I'm having, you know what I'm saying? Now, if there's a white person in there that cuts black people hair, then yeah, okay, that's okay. But I mean, I done been barbershops. I'm 36 now, man. I've been in so many barbershops. The amount of time you'll see a white person in there is little to none. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, fam, that's where I'm going to get my hair cut at. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that specializes in cutting black people hair.
Well, I realize that there's the biggest difference between not the biggest, but one of the biggest things that I noticed is that when white people get their hair cut, it's like, this is just a task I have to do today. Like when black people get their hair, it seems like an event. It's like, no. I'm gonna be here a while. Like, we gotta make sure, you know what I mean? Like, I go in, I don't even really care what it looks like when I get done. I like fast.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
like so like if I'm getting my hair cut, if a girl if the lady cutting my hair can do it in like 10 minutes, I'm good.
Oh,
I might actually give you a bigger tip if you can do it
what?
fast.
Dog, that is so nuts. So the grade of hair that I have, a skilled barber could
Yeah.
cut my hair within 25 minutes.
Yeah.
20 to 25 minutes. A skilled barber.
Yeah.
Lesser skilled, we're looking at like 35. So I was just telling this girl I worked with, like, if you're cutting my hair for longer than 45 minutes, you probably don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because like just the type of grade of hair I have and how my hair lays and does all of that, like I've been told by multiple barbers, like the guy that used to cut my hair in college, he told me, he was like, fam, he was like, this is the easiest $10 I get in all day. Like he said, when I see your name pop up in my phone, bro, I know like I'm gonna get filled in and out. He said there's other people where I gotta literally spend 45, 50 minutes because the way their hair goes and how I gotta cut it and do it. He said your hair. He said, buddy. He was like, bow, bow, bow. I put the taper on it. He was like, bro. He said it's so easy. And he said the guy that cuts my hair right now told me the same thing. He's like, yeah, Phil. He was just like, he said honestly, he said the reason why your haircut takes like longer than 40 minutes is because we chopping it up.
Yeah.
Like he said,
That's the only thing that I used to go. My buddy works at is a black barber shop, and I used to go to him all the time. But it was getting to the point where, like, it was delaying my day. You know what I mean? Because I'd be like, I have my appointment's at 10:30, so I get there at 10:30, but the other appointment's going a little long, so I'm not in the chair till like 11. And then I swear to you, there was one time where I thought he was messing with me because, like, if these are the clippers, he would, like, come in and then stop and then say something to, like, everybody, you know, and then just talking and then be like, all right, and then get in there and then stop and, no, and then it would start a whole other. And I was there until, like, I think, like, 12:45. So it was, like, 2 hours and 45 minutes of me just, like,
so you said from 10:30 to okay, so
yeah, well, like 2 hours and 15 minutes or whatever, and I'm like, man, good. It's a great haircut, but
that's good, Eric. That's a good. I
know, but it's like
I've been in the barbershop for 5 hours. I've been in the barbershop.
Oh, I believe it.
For half a workday before.
Great hang, awesome hang. I laughed with like great conversation. I love that aspect of it. I'm there for that. But at some point, it's like, all right, man, I got other shit I got to do today. You know what I mean? Like, I got to keep going. Like,
I plan the day around not doing shit. When I did, so my barber went to appointments, so I'm pretty much in and out in an hour and a half now. Even with the appointment, hour and a half, which is an improvement. It's been times where, like around like Easter or Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4 hours, 5 hours. And I used to, well, my nephew, he's a teenager now, so he, his friends cut his hair. But, when I used to bring him with me, so it'd be two heads they had to cut. And we just used to be in there for so long, and it's just like, that's the crappiest part about it. But the joke is like, once you find somebody that can cut your hair, that's like a unicorn.
Yeah.
It's not. But you don't, dog. You didn't, Eric. I don't know how to explain. You didn't grow up at the lunch table.
No, I did. I know. I know where you're going. I know where you're going. But I know. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Bam.
It's important. What's the best way that you ever had to break up with your barber? You ever had to be like, oh man, you're just not. You're literally not cutting it anymore. You know what I mean? Like.
So I've been blessed. Like I said, I don't have a hard cut for my head. So the issue I had with one of my barbers was just the timing thing.
Yeah.
Like he was in between jobs and switching homes and became inconsistent. And I'm like, yo, I can't be out here without a haircut. Just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would
can't be just raw.
But what's funny was
like
when he became inconsistent, right? I went and got another barber. And dude was actually pretty decent. He just lived like 40 minutes from my house, which was like,
that's annoying. Yeah.
It was annoying. And when dude got his stuff together, he hit me back up, and he actually ended up setting up shop 10 minutes from my house. I'm like, oh, dog. I'm like, I like, do I want to send a text to dude to let him know like I'm going back, or do I just not want to respond to his messages anymore? And
I had this barber that I went to that I really liked, but he started doing like not a great job. And especially like because my son goes with me to get a haircut, and it was a little like uneven, and my wife was always pointing. She's like, "I don't want you going back there anymore. He never cuts it evenly. Look, it's like diagonal." Blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
"No,
okay."
That's grounds for termination." But your kid,
yeah.
Like I told you, my nephew used to came with me to do haircuts, get our haircuts. We did that for like 5 years. Because what happened was like his mom used to cut his hair, but she didn't used to give him a lining. And so one time he got into a fight at school because a kid was roasting him.
Yeah.
Like, yo, like, hey man, like they was 10. Like we're at the age now where say he was roasting him. So he came up to me one day, because his dad lived in Texas and stuff. He came up to me one day, he was like, yeah, can you take me to the barber next time you go? And I was like, all right, whatever. And then we just, that was it.
Oh man, see, white people don't. They're my kid goes to school with kids with mullets. And I was like, babe, he's fine, And I was like, I like the guy, but eventually we just had to I just kind of ghosted him. We just disappeared.
Bro, that was great. That was great. Dog, if I get a bad haircut, that's one, because that's on me. I spent my hard-earned money.
Yeah.
Your kid though, Brody? No, dog. If one of them barbers would have cut my nephew hair wrong, and I took the time to, the reason why he was even with me was because his haircuts wasn't up to par. So if you ruin that, I let him down. You see what I'm saying?
That's true.
I let him down. I couldn't do that. So if he, like you said, it doesn't matter those other kids. You know personally what standard.
Yeah.
You're
haircut.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at that. You know what I'm saying? That you let your son down.
I mean,
if the other kids at the school don't let them know, oh well, it is what it is. But in your heart.
Yeah, white kids just don't. I don't think white kids care that much about it. They just whatever. It's not that big a deal. Hair.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah.
How long do you go in between haircuts? What's the
2 weeks.
Max? Oh, really?
2 weeks. So
I'll do once a month.
That's what I'm saying. So I've seen once a month. I've seen once every other month.
Yep.
So it's always funny because you said you had a black barber. Like, white guys that get the black barber, they really it's like a life-changing experience.
It is. Well, every white guy needs one black barber and one black girlfriend. All right? The black girlfriend's going to teach you how you look good the best.
Yeah.
And then a black barber is going to help maintain that standard. Yeah. All right? That's what every white guy needs. That's the only way. Because white girls just don't, white women don't, they dress their man how they want him to look, not how he should look. You know what I mean? Like when my wife,
no, because I've worked with several white women. I've worked with a lot of white women. Let me put that out there. And it's always funny because they used to when they would go on trips with their husbands or their significant other, they would lay their clothes out.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, we have a pair of khakis. This is his nice khakis. Yeah. This is his walk-around khakis. This is his nice shirt. And I'm looking like, dog, I was like, there's no way.
For years, I'm finally starting to kind of dress what clothes do I like? Because I've been married for 10 years and I was in the military, so I got told what I could and couldn't wear. And then I got out, and my wife kind of took over that role, of you can't wear a Batman shirt to dinner again. And I'm like, fine, whatever. Yeah. And then, so she started buying me a lot of fishing shirts, and I don't fish, but I was like, whatever. I guess it looks good enough.
With the thing,
the flap in the back, yeah, the vent. Actually, that helped because when I would bomb on stage and I'd get that sweat going, I'd be nice and cool, But then after a while, I was like, I don't like fishing. Why do I wear fishing shirts all the time? And so I started to dress differently, and then I realized oh, maybe this is who I am, And it's just white women. I have caught my wife before. I put on a shirt that was too small on purpose, and I knew it was too small. And I was like, hey, how does this look? And she goes, oh, you look good. I like that on you. And I was like, oh, you're trying to make me look bad on purpose. So when I go out, nobody likes me. You know what I mean? That's their safety net. That's how white women keep their men, is because they make them look like shit.
They dress him like Mr. Flanders?
Yes, exactly. Mr. Flanders doesn't want to dress like that. Mrs. Flanders wants Mr. Flanders to dress like that. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Now I think about, it's kind of different. So, it's like a new age of, white men where, they care about shoes now. Which is, when I grew up, that just wasn't a thing with the white. I went to private school my whole life. I went to school with a lot of white people, and the shoe thing didn't become a thing until 2008, 2010.
I bought my first pair of Jordans 2 months ago. I got New Balance on right now. Look at the sole. I'm about to walk through the bottom of my shoe.
But you did it,
because I'm just like, whatever.
Because it's dog, it's the same thing with when JB and them made Ronaldo throw his shoes away when they went to Mississippi.
I didn't hear about that.
You didn't hear, dog? They made him throw his shoes away. They had a show in Mississippi.
They made him throw his shoes away.
And they stopped and made him and buy new shoes. I'm saying, dog,
I bought a pair of Jordans for Commandi's Sneakerhead show.
Yeah.
Because I was like, all right, Sneakerhead, I got to buy some. And I went into the store, and the guy was like, what are you looking for? And I go, I have never bought a nice pair of shoes in my life. I want something that I'm not going to get roasted for, but do not give me a work of art, because I'm going to ruin it, you know? Because some of these shoes are like thousands of dollars, and they're like, yeah, this is a limited time edition, you know what I mean? And I was don't give me that. I am going to ruin this. Give me something that people will be like, oh. And so he gave me a pair of shoes. It was like the Michael Jordan North Carolina edition. They were like light blue and black or whatever, the high top Jordans. Mm-hmm. And I picked them out because they look like the cartoon dog Bluey. Like, that's what I know. Okay. Like as a dad, I was like, oh, these look like Bluey. He's like, you mean the Jordan Tar Heel edition? I was like, yep, that one too. And I got those. And I was at first, first of all, they're a little small, but I didn't realize Nikes run a little bit small. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but I put them on, and instantly people started treating me differently. Instantly. Because I got to Helium, and people were like, damn, those are nice shoes. And I was like, as I'm walking down the stairs, I'm like, duh. Is that something everybody looks at? Does everybody scan people up and down?
I would tell you, women, they look at men from the feet up.
Really?
So when a woman sees you, that's why they tell you to have nice shoes on. You know what I'm saying? Because when a woman sees you, she'll look at your feet. Men look at women from the face down. That's why, you know what I'm saying, it'll be some overlooked stuff that can be overlooked, because, you know what I'm saying, if you get to a certain part, you might not make it all the way. You might not make it to the feet, you know what I'm saying?
I was about to say.
You might, or some women have, I don't want to say they have ugly hands, but some women don't have attractive hands.
Yeah.
But you might not make it to see that till later, depending on where you stop at from that process.
Ugly hands.
But that's why women always notice height, because it's like they're looking at you from the feet up, because
this is taking a long time.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. You see? So that's why, you know what I'm saying, it was always important, to have good shoes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I will say, like I was saying, 2010, 2011, that's when the sneaker culture started going insane.
Yeah.
And it was because there was an influx of white people that hopped in there, and you know what happens when white people bring their money?
They ruin it.
They ruin it. That's why I got to go on the app and log in at 8 a.m. and try to go do all these what you call raffles and stuff like that. Or, you know what I'm saying? So I will say, with the emergence of the bully culture, being cast out, there's a lot of people that's wearing, they call them reps or replicas, where they're not the real shoe, they're just a replica of it. They just look like the shoe, and they're kind of shunning people on the internet for making fun of people for wearing, the replicas. And that is that's bringing down they're bringing it down. Like, I can actually get in there and buy the shoe now. You know what I'm saying? Like, because somebody was like, yeah, I can't spend this $300 on some sneakers, but I can get the reps for $50 and they won't make fun of me. I'm like, yeah, do that, buddy, and I'm going to spend my $212.
I just never thought, I've never thought to look at somebody's shoes before. I don't know. Like, I just, shoes, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I do like it, though. I like when I have my nice shoes on and people, they do treat you different. You know what I mean? Like, girls will be like, oh, I like those shoes. And guys are like, damn, those are nice. You know, like that. And you're like, oh, it's weird. When you dress nice, people treat you nice. Huh? But with like me, if I could wear basketball shorts and like a hoodie all year round, that's what I would do. That's all I would have on.
But that's even done got crazy too, because like the hoodie game has done been revolutionized.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then like there's jumpsuits that cost like, dog, I was in Neiman Marcus. It was a jumpsuit that was $850. And dude was telling us, like, yeah, when Meek Mill came through here, he bought 3 of these, like, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm just like, fam, I'm at $800 jumpsuit, fam, that, you know what I'm saying? And you got to think, they just started letting you wear them in the club. Like, you couldn't wear that in the club, like, 10 years ago. Like, in the club, you had to have on nice pants and a nice shirt. You know what I'm saying? Now you can go in, like you said, you can go if you got, because some of these hoodies cost more than a nice pants and nice shirt. So it's fashion is one of the crazy. Fashion is weird, man. It's one of the crazy things. It's like you said, I want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I like to be comfortable. Like people like you see my open mic attire.
Yeah.
And people make fun of me for that. They was like, oh, Phil got on sweatpants and a hoodie, or you know, he's got on like, you know, and the same shoes, you know, or same comfortable shoes. I'm like, look, dog, I just worked 10 hours today. And I'm trying to be a comedian.
I'm trying to tell. I got a new bid. I'm not in the mood.
Fam, let me work on my stuff. Like, it's showtime, you'll see it. Like, I got nice clothes. Like, you'll see me. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have it's like an airport fit. Like, people have airport fit. I have open mic attire.
The only like, I have, like, wedding attire, which is, like, I have, like, 4 shirts and 4 pants that I could possibly wear for, like, a formal thing. I told my wife she needs to come up with, like, a level system of, like, hey, what are we doing today? And she's like, hey, it's a level 1 day. And that means basketball shorts, flip-flops, hoodie. Be a slob. Love it. Level 4 would be like, hey, suit, tie, nice shoes. You know what I mean? And it's like, then fill me in between. You know?
What she'll do, she'll have like a little note, like a note card that says like level 1, 2, and 3. So when you wake up, you're like, oh, today's a level 2 day. Or like you'll go in the bathroom and you'll be brushing your teeth and it'll be like level 2, level 3.
It's like
when was the last time I had a level 1 day?
You remember when we were kids and they had the terrorism threat level and it was like today's threat level is orange or whatever. It's like today's dress code level is purple, and you're like, shit, I gotta get a tie. No, man, I gotta shave today.
And then you'll probably get into an argument with her like, yeah, can you let me know the night before so I can wake up and not be surprised?
I need a 4-day notice for a level 4 outfit, okay? That's what I need so I can mentally prep. It's all ready to go. It's been ready since the last time I wore it, but I don't want to get ready for it. Well, also, man, you know what annoys my wife more than anything is the fact that it takes me so little time to get dressed or like get ready. So like, if we have a wedding to go, the last wedding we went to started at 1:00. She got up at like 9, started like prepping and doing all kinds of stuff. I didn't even think about it till like 12:20, and I was like, oh, I guess I should brush my teeth and shave and then put on my tie, you know? And she's just like, ugh. And she's like up until the last minute, like just doing everything. And I'm just like, I basically just like stretch and like, all right, you ready? Let's go.
Hey, it is what, like, I remember there was a post where it was a girl, she shaved off all off her hair and got waves and stuff. And then she put a post out. She's like, yeah, man never told me that all I got to do is brush my hair for like 15 minutes. She said, put on some eyeliner and I'm good to go.
I didn't even do that this morning. I got up, I woke up, and I just looked in the mirror and I just kind of like straightened my beard and then just kind of combed over and was like, all right. And we're out the door, you know. You'll brush your teeth, and I thought about shaving. Like, all I have to do is shave under here. That's why I grew a beard, so I could do less in the morning. And all I have to do is shave like this patch of skin, and I still don't do it. Sometimes I'm just like,
well, you lucky. That's why I got the mask on, man, because I didn't want to comb my hair. It was cold. It was cold as hell, too.
It was
cold as hell, too. So I put the mask on. I'm like, I got to take the mask off, and then I got to comb my hair after I take the mask off. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep the mask on.
While we're talking about hair, while we're kind of on the subject of hair, wintertime is the easy time for me for hair because you take a shower, you comb it over, you know, I do whatever because I'm going bald, so I comb over my bald spot and I just go, right? Summertime, that is when it gets annoying because as soon as, like white people, as soon as we start to sweat, our hair gets oily and my hair will like curl and then it gets like thin and wispy. So I always have to be within like a couple hours of a shower because if it gets too hot, I mean, first was going to smell like wet dog. Like, let's just be real. We know about it. All right. We know what y'all been saying. We're working on it. Okay. You know, we went to the moon, but we can't stop the skin oils. I don't know what.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Yeah. Allegedly. That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But oh man, it's the worst in the summer when my hair gets all sweaty and like wet and oily and stuff. And I just feel like, I want to shave my head so bad just to be done with it, but I'm scared it's gonna make me look like a white supremacist. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like I already look like I have like resting cop face, you know. So if I shave my head and have a beard, like it's gonna give me a look, you know. And I'm just like, that's the only reason I haven't done it yet.
That's crazy. I don't know, man. Like I said, like hat hair really be tearing me up. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like my hair forms.
Just keep the hat on.
I'm about to say my hair forms to whatever I have on my head. But the thing is, I have my full lining though. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have, and that's because I don't wear a lot of hats. I think that's it. Like it's.
They say the more you wear hats, the more likely you are to go bald.
Yeah. I was reading something where they call it like hatopecia.
Hatopecia, all
like
right.
A term or something like where your hair starts thinning around the line where you wear all the hats and stuff. And then they said what people do to like to hide it is wear more hats, which makes it worse.
Yeah, it makes it worse. That's why I try not to wear hats. Because I think of that every time I put one on. But sometimes I'm just like...
No, yeah, something like that. Like I said, like it was cold today. So there was no option for me. Like I was like... Because usually you see me, I don't wear a lot of hats in general. Just because, I let the hair breathe or whatever. But
that's another thing. Hats, like shoes. White people do not give a fuck about their hats. They don't give a damn. The more beat up it is, the more sweat stains and like it's crumpled, and it's like you just beat it out on your, and put it on. It gets wet, it gets water. But like black people take care of their hats the way they take care of their shoes, like it's got to be crisp, it's got to be clean, keep the stickers on, and it looks good. And then you look at a white person's hat and he's like, oh no, this fell in a lake last week, but you know what? It's pretty dry. I'll put it back on.
I put up a clip from a podcast that I was on a couple years ago, and I had on a beat up hat. I ain't gonna lie, the hat was beat up. First 3 comments, they was like, "Buddy, you gotta let it go." We were talking. I don't even know what we was talking about, but the comments was like, "Buddy, like, yeah, like that's it. That's not it right there."
I can't do it. I can't. I just don't. I don't understand the justification for like. It's a hat. Is that all it's supposed to do is keep the sun out of my eyes? You know what I mean? Like, or it's just trying to not burn my bald spot. And it's like this is old. It's been on deployment with me. Like, it's my favorite hat just because it's fit.
What's crazy is they want hats to look like that now.
Really? They want the old... Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's it. See, all I had to do was wait, and now I'm back in style. It comes back around.
Like those big fitteds that, you know what I'm saying, that you used to see that was crisp and all of that. Is
this on their way out?
Yeah, like it's mostly dad. Well, I mean the dad hat, like
the dad hat. Yeah,
the better looking dad hats are the ones that have been intentionally aged. But you know what I'm saying. But you got people out here that go to a thrift store, buy a dad hat, and that's what they want. That's the look they want.
Apparently, mom jeans are back too. According to my daughter,
with the high waist,
kind of baggier and high waist, and that's my daughter is about to be 15, and she's super into like mom jeans, and I was like, you know what? As your dad, I back this. I'm good. I'd much rather you have more fabric than less fabric, you know? Because a couple years ago, it was as tight as possible and as many rips as possible, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm like, yeah, sure.
Baggy's going back in, like they saying guys are wearing baggy jeans. Like Drake, he's got a couple pictures up of him wearing these baggy jeans and stuff like that. And Lil Wayne definitely going baggier with it. I don't know.
Jinko jeans are coming back? You think they're coming?
It's only a matter of time. It's only, they're on their way.
They're on their way.
They're on their way. Like somebody's gonna be like, I found this. You know, I would say, I found this in the thrift store. It's gonna have the Jinko on it, and yeah, they're coming. They're coming for us hard.
I feel like you're warning us about you gonna see. It's like an invasion. It's like they're coming.
We recording this like when I look.
It is January 19th, 2024. But in September, it's just going to be a wave of... We're both back in here wearing Jinko jeans.
Jinko, bro. That's... Woo! Boy, we are old.
Yeah. I know. All right. Well, we just hit 2-hour mark.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming on. I hope you come back sometime. Real quick, plug your social one more time and your movie.
Yeah. So it'll be Phillip Cornell, St. Louis, Missouri on Facebook. Phillip the Deal on Instagram and TikTok. And then my movie is on YouTube. It's called My Cousin Phil.
Yeah. Right. And if you want, send me the link and I can post it in the video and I'll put it in the description and stuff like that. Yeah. Last thing I ask everybody before they get out of here is, what's the best way to fix this or improve it? Make this podcast a little bit more fun.
I don't know. It's really your personality, Eric. So I don't know. Like you could have a wall where somebody sign, or like get you some stickers.
Yeah,
stickers always help. You know what I'm saying? Like I actually had some stickers I made myself or whatever, but. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get you some stickers, put some stickers up, like if people promoting stuff, like their movie or, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You can, just have a wall where they can put a sticker at or,
I could even just prop it up here on the because in the widescreen, in the wide shot, it would be right there. Mm-hmm. That's a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like something to show that, like, people have been through and you appreciate, you know what I'm saying?
Something like that.
Other than that, I mean, like, it's really,
I wish I could have people sign the walls, but I rent this place, so it would.
You can have a board.
Yeah, I'll get a whiteboard. I'm already worried though because I put soundproofing like all over the walls, and I'm really worried when I leave and I take it down, it's gonna rip the paint, and I'm just gonna be like, whoops.
The new paint ain't that bad.
Nah, it's just what are you? They're gonna see me come in one day with like 12 brushes and a couple gallons of paint. What's going on? Nothing. Hey, everything's perfectly fine. Just why don't you guys just stay out there for a little bit?
It's gonna smell too.
Yeah. You guys don't have a big fan that I could use, do you? No. All right. Appreciate you coming by, man.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you next week.